Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video today, I will be demoing and reviewing the Karin Pigment Decobrush markers. This is the pastel set with 12 colors. And here's the little info book that's included with the markers. It also tells you how to store the markers. It shows how you can mix the colors together, lighten colors, and get tonal transitions. They also give you a customization kit. Swap the markers between the boxes to arrange them in the order which suits your preferences best. After you are satisfied with the result, cover the original names and colors both on the inside and outside the boxes accordingly. And so these are stickers that you can use on the inside of your marker box. So for this part here, they offer a spot where you can swatch all of the markers that are included in this set. And you would also put these stickers on the outside of the box as well. So there are 12 colors included in the pastel color set: pastel yellow, pastel pumpkin, pastel orange, pastel light green, pastel green, pastel blue, pastel pink, pastel red lilac, pastel magenta red, pastel red, pastel violet blue, and pastel violet. And so here's what the marker looks like up close. And it says it's an opaque color system, acrylic permanent ink, flexible brush tip. It's water-based, non-toxic, suitable for most surfaces, and it can provide easy color blending. It also says on the marker to shake before use, store horizontally, and cap after use. And on the cap, it gives the color name. And then there's what the tip of the marker looks like. I'm going to shake all these markers and then I'll come back and swatch the box. And so now I'm going to take the markers out and swatch them on the inside of the box, as well as on a piece of marker paper. So right here on the box, it has that it's the pastel color set and the squares that you can do a swatch of each color. So it says paint a swatch of each color to get a real-world visual representation on both light and dark surfaces. And it says results might vary depending on the surface that the markers are applied on. So for this customization kit, I thought they were saying that you can mix between different sets of the markers. So if you have the pastel color set and the basic color set, you can combine markers from both of those sets into a single box. But I believe what they're saying is these markers came organized in a certain order. So the pastel yellows first, the pumpkin, so on and so forth. But if I wanted to put, say, the pastel blue here in the first spot and move the pumpkin to where the blue was, I can use these stickers, and then I would put the pastel blue sticker on the first square that's here on the box, just to basically keep track of the order of how you've ordered your markers in this set specifically. So I just wanted to make that clear, because when I first looked at it, I thought it was if you were going between multiple boxed sets. Something I'm already noticing that I don't want to say I don't like them, but as far as for the box, it's kind of hard to swatch because my table isn't that big. So once I pull this down so I can do a swatch on it, the part with the markers is pretty much about to hang off of the table. So as I was using some of the markers, the ink wasn't coming out uniform, and that was user error. In the little pamphlet that they provide, it says in order to maintain color consistency and use the paint efficiently, shake the marker before use. Repeat until the color inside the cartridge becomes uniform. If the marker has been used within the last hour, the shaking is unnecessary. So I got one of them out to try and show how the paint isn't fully in this cartridge part. This was one of the ones where the paint wasn't fully mixed. So now I'm going to shake all of them until the ink inside of the cartridge part is uniform. And then after that, I will be swatching it on a piece of marker paper. So as far as for the ink in the cartridge, I'm not sure if the cartridge is where the label is or if it's the part that's closest to the tip of the marker, because after I shook all of the markers, the ink wasn't uniform in the part that's closer to the tip. And also there was varying amounts of ink in that part closest to the tip. I did shake all of the markers after I showed you this cartridge on this particular one, and the ink never got uniform in that part that's closer to the tip of the marker. So I'm going to assume that the ink that's in the part towards the top, like underneath the label, is the cartridge that they're referring to. And you just have to make sure that you shake them well so that the ink is uniform in that portion. Now I'm going to swatch the markers on marker paper. The Karin Pigment Decobrush markers give artists the freedom of creation. Their opaque paint can be used on paper, metal, glass, plastic, wood, textile, and a lot of other materials. The opaque matte paint can also be used on dark surfaces with techniques still unavailable to other markers. When painting, the markers will not bleed through the backside of the paper. Pigment Decobrush paints inside the markers are similar to acrylic paints, and it says they contain 2.4 milliliters of non-toxic, opaque, organic, pigment-based paint. Since these are paint markers, once they dry, they do give off a different look than traditional brush markers. I would like to try these on like black paper or darker color paper than white. I feel like, especially with some of them, the payoff would be greater, like with this very light pastel pink, and probably with all of the other colors as well, because these are pastel. So the color isn't that rich to begin with, seeing as though they're pastel. These probably also would work really great on like glass, if you make like event signage or table cards or anything like that. I would want to try them on different surfaces just to see how they look. But I do like the brush tip. It is the same shape and size brush tip that's on the original Karin markers. This is the Karin Brushmarker Pro. And so here's the brush tip that's on that marker. And I do believe I have a video on my channel where I reviewed these, so I will link that one in the description. And these markers specifically say calligraphy, graphic design, illustration. So here are both of the Karin markers. The mint green one is the Decobrush and the other one is the Brushmarker Pro. And the tips are the same shape. However, I believe that the Decobrush marker tip is a little bit smaller than the Brushmarker. All in all, I do like these markers. Again, I would like to see them on different surfaces just to see what they can do. Because these ones here, I would only use them on paper. And with the Decobrush markers, you can use them on a variety of surfaces as well as different color surfaces. So it'd be really nice to see what the color payoff would be if these were used on different surfaces. I feel like the white marker paper doesn't really do the colors justice because there's a few of them that are hard to see on the paper, So these 3 pink ones, as well as the yellow one. But I find that yellow markers across all brands is hard to see on white paper, and I think that's just because of the color yellow. It can be hard to see on white paper. On the Karin website, these are about $50, and that is the price as of July 2026 in the US. I got these from my local Michael's. They were on clearance and I got them for about $30, and I've had these for a few months and I'm just now opening them and doing a review on them. So if you want to get your hands on these, I will have them linked in the description below. I'm actually going to do a test of one of the markers on this brown paper bag. This came in a pack of those ones that you can get at like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. So I'm going to use one of these markers and write something on the bag just to see what it looks like. So here's the first pass of that marker on this brown paper bag. If you do one pass over the surface that you're writing on and it looks fine to you, you don't have to go over it a second time. I just feel like for this, especially the lettering, I do want to kind of darken up some of the lines. I'm just going to wait for this first layer to dry, and then I'm going to go back over it with the marker. And the one I used is the pastel violet blue. So I'm using AirPlay while recording this video, and I'm looking at the TV so I can make sure that I'm in frame. And on the TV, it looks like it's more opaque than it looks for me. So I actually picked up the bag and looked at it face on, and it is opaque. The reason why it doesn't is the angle that I'm sitting at, looking at the item as I'm writing. It doesn't look as opaque. But when I pick it up and actually look at it, it is more opaque than I thought. But I still am going to go over it a second time just to get that desired look. And so this is one coat. And here's the second coat. And so here is both of those side by side. On the left is the one coat, and on the right is the 2 coats. Which one do you like better? Let me know in the comments. A quick note, if you are going to go over whatever you've written a second time, it may change how it looks slightly. So like on this P, there's 2 separate little lines. It may be hard to see, but when I went over the P that second time, I made another line not directly on top of the first line. So that may be something you'd want to look out for if you are going to go over whatever you've drawn or written a second time. And you may not even need to go over anything that you write with these markers a second time. I just kind of wanted to see how it would look with that second layer on top. So this concludes the video of my demo and review of the Karin Pigment Decobrush markers. If you found this video helpful, let me know by hitting the like button. Subscribe for more videos like this and hit the bell to be notified when I upload a new video, as well as the tutorial on the Karin Brushmarker Pro markers. Remember to check the description box for any resources that may have been mentioned in the video. And as always, thanks for watching.